How's it going, people of YouTube? Welcome back to the Frosty Palace and the second part to the E3 wrap-up video series that we have here. Tonight we're going to be covering Ubisoft and Sony and touch on Nintendo. They didn't really have a they had a big presence, but it was mainly Zelda. Um, and this one I'm going to be using my regular webcam recording software to compare it to the other one so I can finally decide on what I want to use going further. Now, so let's go ahead and kick this off with Ubisoft's conference. I didn't watch it, so this is going to be kind of like almost a kind of a first look for me. But so we're going to start at the top with the Just Dance 2017. Not a huge fan of the Just Dance series, so like great, they're becoming sports games at this point. Whatever pop song they can add in now and you can dance to, whatever. A big one was the Ghost Recon Wildlands game coming out. Um, Everyone seems to be super excited about this. Freeform missions and a huge, massive open world. But I mean, yeah, it's 4-player open world, solo with friends. It's going to be an entire world set in Bolivia in South America. So it looks really good. I did watch a trailer on it. I think it'll be cool. Will I get it? Who knows? We'll see. I guess we'll see what the friends will get. This next one's interesting. The next South Park game, The Fractured But Whole. I didn't play Stick of Truth, but I did recently watch the trailer they showed for this, and the amount of superhero movie references in here made it enough for me to want to play it. I don't really like South Park's all right to begin with, and then mixing it with like an RPG, it's not really like, I don't know, comfortable to me. But I mean, I guess we'll see. I enjoyed the references, so that was fun. They talked about the paid Division DLC coming out. Division for me myself has kind of died down since no one really plays it, and I'm not going to pay for the DLC. But I mean, what do they got to do to keep something afloat, you know? Um, then they showed Ubisoft showed a VR exclusive title called Eagle Flight, where you take form of an eagle 50 years after the extinction of humans, and you are flying around, and completing like, certain missions and stuff like that. But it looks cool. I'm going to touch on VR in a little while, but and another VR game is a Star Trek Bridge Crew, which exactly what you think, like a simulation in the Star Trek universe on the bridge of one of the ships, doing all the stuff and things and blah blah blah. Then they showed For Honor. I don't know if these are exact order, but they showed For Honor, the upcoming like medieval-esque action game that pits you as either a samurai, Viking, or a knight. They showed some gameplay of it. It was okay looking. I think there's some stuff that needs to be polished up there before it really catches my attention. It's brutal and it's cool looking, but I gotta see what the final product looks like first. Um, then we got a little taste of Trials of the Blood Dragon, a mix of Trials Fusion and Far Cry Blood Dragon. Just looks off the wall. If you've ever played either of those, you know that mixing the two would probably be an interesting collaboration. Um, they show a game called Steep. It's a snowboard skiing game. This one was kind of a surprise. No one was really expecting something like this. Um, but it's going to be interesting to see after. I think the last game like this was the SSX game, and that wasn't really that hot to me at least. So I guess we'll see where it goes. And I think the big hitter for Ubisoft this year is Watch Dogs 2. They showed some of the gameplay. You know, we got that cool trailer with the Spaz by Nerd in it, which was really cool. But again, we'll wait and see because Watch Dogs kind of was, but you know, what can you do? Next, we're going to talk about my favorite conference. Oh, that's hard to say. Really good conference. probably my favorite, was Sony. Sony brought the games. E3 to me is about the games. Even though Microsoft did bring hardware, Sony brought the titles this year. I mean, it just absolutely crazy amount of good titles. They showed God of War, older Kratos and his son in like Norse mythology era, um, sometimes set after the events of his Hellenic era um, escapades. It looks very withdrawn from the classic God of War. Almost looks like a Last of Us kind of camera work and graphics and stuff like that, but better. It looks amazing. I love Norse mythology. Anyone who knows me knows that, and that's going to be exciting to play, and I cannot wait to bash Thor's face in with his own hammer, because you know it's going to happen. They showed off a game called Days Gone, a post-apocalyptic zombie title, but it looks really well. If you've seen the trailer for it, if not, I advise you go check it out right now. But hordes and hordes of zombies. I mean, numbers we've never even seen before on screen. But you got to watch the trailer to do it justice. It looks like a new take on the whole zombie genre. Looked really cool. I mean, at one point he like had a can and he attached it to his pistol and turned into a silencer. So maybe that's going to have some sort of gameplay component in there. But who knows? We were treated with some more footage from The Last Guardian and a 2016 release date, believe it or not. Finally, we will get our hands on the next game from the Shadow of Colossus maker and Eco, and it's going to be cool. It looks really cool. I mean, you play as a little kid with Trico, the mythical man-eating creature, and you complete puzzles and try to find, I forget the premise of it, but it looks great. Come on. Next, Horizon Zero Dawn. Looks like a great title coming out next year. They have a bunch of gameplay footage of it, a trailer out there. You play as a girl, I forget her name, but basically the Earth is overrun by these mechanical animals, the dinosaurs, like creatures, and you're hunting them. It just looks really great. Again, 2017 is going to be a great year for games. Detroit Becomes Human, Android title. I didn't really watch the trailer for it. From CD Projekt. No, it's not from CD Projekt Red. That's a different game. We got the Resident Evil 7 coming out, and that's going to be completely VR experience. If you want it to be, you don't have to play it like that. A game called Farpoint, which is another VR. It's like a shooter. It has the aim controller, the cool little gun thing. Apparently that was a big hit at E3. The Battlefront VR mission, flying an X-Wing. The Batman VR, complete 60-minute narrative, completely narrated by Mark Hamill as the Joker. So they got him back to do another one, and it is Rocksteady, so it is going to be, legit art in the Arkham universe. There's a mission or something you can play on Final Fantasy VR. We're going to stop there. I had the chance last night to play and test the PlayStation VR. It is seriously like next level, mind-blowing. I didn't want to put it down. I have to get one for myself now. It blew me away. The sheer everything you can do. I don't know. To me, like that whole next jump gets me really excited for what it could also be used for. And it was just so much fun, and I can't wait to get my hands on one so we can play it together. And it's going to be great. We'll share that experience. It's going to be amazing. I talked about Call of Duty, but as you all know, I'm not too keen on Call of Duty, especially with Battlefield 1 coming out this year. No. They talked about, this was a big one, Crash Bandicoot Remastered. So Crash 2, and Crash Warped will be remastered from the ground up for the PlayStation 4. Yes. Thank you, Sony. You listen. Good job. But we'll see Crash first on Skylanders Imaginators, the custom Skylander game that's coming out later this year. We saw more Lego Star Wars Force Awakens, which does come out in 3 days now. And then we were treated with some really big announcements at the end of the show. Hideo Kojima walked out on the stage, and everyone lost their shit. And he showed his new game with Norman Reedus called Death Stranding. You can watch a trailer, and I'll give you money if you can tell me what that game is about, because I have no fucking clue. At one point, there's a baby, and he's holding the baby, then the baby's gone, and then he's on the beach with a bunch of dead things, and then no one knows what's going on. Then we had Insomniac showed a trailer for the new Spider-Man game, which looks so cool, especially because there was gameplay in that trailer, and that was just seamless and amazing, and I cannot wait for that to come out. Sony really brought the games, and it just made me so excited for next year and for just gaming in general. And lastly, Nintendo did have their Treehouse event, the digital Treehouse event, which they showed some more Pokemon footage for Sun and Moon. We got treated to a couple more Pokemon, and then the big thing was the Zelda Breath of the Wild announcement coming next year. The fact that the map is 9 times bigger than Skyrim's map. What they showed was 1% of the total size, completely open, you see mountain, go to mountain kind of thing. It literally is bringing a breath of life into Zelda games, and I will be getting it. It just looks so cool. You can watch the trailer, you can watch the gameplay. It's awesome. The next step in Zelda is here, and just it just looks amazing. I know I say that for about everything, but I'm just so excited for games the next coming year now, and man, you should be too. And that wraps up our E3 recap for 2016. We had a lot of big things come out of E3, from the Xbox One S to all the titles announced by Sony, and then every developer in between. There's a lot of indie game presence there, which is always good. And VR. It's just, the next year in gaming is going to be great, and you're going to be here with me to get through it all. As always, thank you guys for stopping by the Frosty Palace. Make sure you hit that like button if you liked it, and hit that dislike it if you didn't. And then share and subscribe, comment, talk to me. I'll talk back. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and all that good social media nonsense. And as always, I love you guys. Thank you for coming back, and we'll see you at the next one. Good night.